All right. Well, IDHVNY just postulating something that it has been discussed and has actually gained a bit more traction in terms of people actually giving it a listen more so than before. It's I've lost a bit of faith in Nuno. As a matter of fact, I never really had faith in him. Really, I just was going to be an uncertainty as to whether or not he was going to get what he would need to play games that were needed to win. But yet, the games that we've won have been off the backs of like indi- individually collective performances out there on the pitch by the players, and also traditionally he's been setting up this 4-4-2 while having a really concerning situation with Pablo out there and Taddy, who is, I think, trying to give something, but we're losing games, obviously, and we're riding the coattails of other teams in terms of their luck. Now, I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to get a lot of flack. Get Ange. Whether we go down or we go up, get Ange. Now, people are going to say, oh no, man, Ange is trash. He got nearly over 100 injuries, like for, for Spurs, But, well, listen, this is the same Ange that managed or, was the leader over at Celtic and against, I think it was the Wraith Rovers. He got a 4-0 victory. And after a series of back passing, he famously yelled, "Stop passing back!" and was like basically signaling to these guys, "Go forward." And they went on to smash him 4-0. You mean to tell me if Bowen didn't have Ange in that locker room giving him the talk, that he wouldn't be bouncing and ready to smoke something out there on that pitch? You're crazy. And I don't use that word, very loosely. I'm telling you, over Nuno, I think we need to get him out. And obviously, we need to get Sullivan out for poisoning this club for 10 years to the point that, some say sleepwalking, others say catapulting into relegation. I don't know. It's a mixture of the two with me. But I think that if he were in charge, we would have a much, much different. If Ange was at the wheel, and this is why I would have taken even Carrick over Nuno, is the fact that there's some bit of gumption, some bit of wanting to win a game, not just survive, not just say, my way worked. All right, I'll do it your way. You want to see it? Yep, I'll do it. I'll throw my toys on the floor. We're going to lose it all in that. But then when I go to change it up and have it my way, it's going to mess things up on the back end. Or I'm going to have my way on the first half of things and then switch it up and just let it fall apart in the way that I set it up because I want to be a methodologist and this is the way that I look at it. That's Nuno. Ange on the other hand, okay. Does he got a European Cup. Okay, he got 17th place, whatever. Let me tell you something. You give him the opportunity to manage a club like West Ham. Imagine the likes of Somerville under an Ange punk rock football, straight up just tackle city, front foot, take no prisoners, search and destroy football. We would be winning. We would be in the top 10 as West Ham. Obviously, whether Ange would ever want to come to us is another thing. And, it is taking a bit of a big gamble saying that if it were to happen. But I'd have more faith that we would be far away from relegation if Ange were in charge than this. All right, IDHVNY. Just had to get that off real quick, and let's see how it goes with Leeds. You know, a lot of people are saying, you know, it's going to be one that we're going to win. We're going to be on the front foot. It's all on how Nuno sets up and what point he wants to prove that day. He might just show up and actually win the whole thing and have us survive, just so he could be able to say that he's the one that made us. Oh yeah, we survived. And then he moves on, and then he over the summer goes to implement it, maybe I don't know. I don't know. At the moment, I'm ye of little faith in the way that Paco Jimenez, man. It takes him having to grab him. What happened to that man's voice? But it took him having to like take him to the side and be like, "We're not bringing on Kilman for this game." What happened to him? No offense to Kilman, because he always wanted to be an Iron, but he had that mistake in him. He didn't have a bad performance. I think the last game or the game before, when he was before he was taken off completely for good. But nevertheless, we have Hermanson in goal. If we had Areola in goal versus Man United and Man City, we would have won those games as opposed to equalizing them. You get what I'm saying? I don't have faith in Nuno. Ange, I do. Somebody get Ange, get Sullivan out, get the. Come on, you Irons. Let's do this. We survive. Get both of them out. You get in a director of football and an owner and a manager that's able to galvanize the team. And boys, we got to win this on Sunday. You know, Leeds are not going to want to come to lose. You know what I mean? And also, we can't be dependent on Moyes kicking us favors. And even still, we have to depend on Moyes kicking us favors. It is what it is. Come on, you Irons. IDHVNY. It's tough being a Hammer, but it might just be tougher being the Spurs unless you've got Ange. Get Ange. Sullivan out. Nuno out.